time for a wrap-up. Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Zach with Zacks Books, and today I've got my February wrap-up. So, as you guys know, if you watched I don't know if it was the last video I did, but one of the last videos I did where we kind of had like the announcement video and like talked about a bunch of stuff that's been going on. We'll post it up here if you have not seen it. Check it out. But pretty much, I wanted to do a bunch of rereads. We kind of, after I read How to Sell a Haunted House with by Grady Hendrix, that was a reading vlog too, check that up. Also, I pretty much, I don't know, a lot of things kind of kept happening. And in that one video, like I said, where we kind of have an announcement and like kind of talked about what's been going on, just kind of hit a wall and a lot of stuff's been going on. So I decided to just do a bunch of rereads instead for the month of February to kind of pick up the pace and pick me back up to get me more into reading. So I picked a bunch of older books that I had read previously, I want to say maybe 2-3 years ago for all of them, and wanted to reread them. We will link these 4 down below if you're intrigued with any of them. Also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to Danielle's channel, and get us to 1K. Also, check out the podcast, check out Bookstagram, all the other stuff that's down there. And yeah, let's get into the books. Alright, I have these in, well, I guess they are in an order. They're in order in which I read them in. First one I reread is The Amityville Horror by Jay Anson. So last time I read this, it was a 5-star read. Second time I read it, it's a 5-star read. This is about the Lutz family and the Amityville Horror in 1975. I mean, it's just a really eerie and creepy book because it's a haunted house book, but it's based off of true events, and it just makes it even like scarier and like creepier. It's just a really creepy story. The Lutz family moves into this house where previously the last owners, like, the son of the family, like, murdered the entire family and is like, but he murders his entire family in the middle of the night, and basically we're following the people who move in after that, and George, who's the father, or like the dad, well yeah, the father and dad, same thing, is like the person who bought the house, and he like knew about it, but like, you know, they're not super into like the supernatural stuff, like, you know, it's just an honest tragedy. Anytime they try and get a priest in there to try and, like, cleanse the place, he gets driven out of there by something. It's just a really dark book, and it's, like, a very, very creepy story. There are sequels because I guess the Lutz family got, like, followed, like, from this house to the next house, and then I think even another time after that. I think I own Amityville 2. I have not read that yet. That is, I think, also on one of the videos I did where I want to read, like, classic horror sequels or something like that. If it's not, then there's a hint that we should probably do that. But yeah, this is a really good book. It's a 5-star read. I thought it was really solid. Again, also really, really creepy. So, there you have The Amityville Horror by Jay Anson. Alright, the next reread I did was the book that kick-started my Stephen King journey, like, truly, with Bookstagram and YouTube. The Long Walk, when he wrote as Richard Bachman. So it was a 5-star read. The first time I read this was in my top 5 Stephen King books of all time. It eventually got kicked to the top 10, and eventually got kicked out of the top 10. This reread, at best, I would say would probably put it at number 10, at best. It's still a 5-star read. It's still a really good book. This was Danielle and I's February buddy read, so she did read The Long Walk. Very exciting for her. Yay. Now she's just got to read it. But yes, this was a really good book. Again, this is the story of 100 boys who must keep a steady pace of 4 miles an hour doing this walk, and it's basically last man standing. You get three warnings, and then after the 3rd warning, if you're still going below the pace or you're stopped or something like that, you get your ticket out of the walk. Your ticket out is death. So, I mean, that's not like a surprise. We're following Garrity. I don't remember if that's his first name or last name, but we're following
Ray Garrity.
Ray Garrity, yes. See, this is why you read books too, because you know more than I do. So this Ray Garrity is like the main person that we are following. He's got a bunch of like people that he meets and like becomes friends with. which makes it all the more like sad when like things happen to them or to Garrity or whatever. I'm not going to spoil who wins, honestly, because the winner, like, does the person really win based off of how the ending happened? Curious thought. Danielle and I are going to be doing this on the podcast this Monday or the first Monday in March. I don't know when this video will be going up. I think it's going to be going up before the podcast. If it does, then it's going to be this upcoming Monday. If it's after, then it was this previous Monday. But yeah, this is a really cool book. It was a really fun journey. I still think it's my all-time favorite Bachman book. There's just a lot to love about the book. There are parts in the book Danielle mentioned to me where it kind of seemed like it dragged on, where it's just kind of like, okay, let's like keep going or like something like that. They kept talking about the past or something like that. And the argument I'll have with that is they're literally walking. Like, you got to take up the time with something. So, but I don't know. We'll talk about it more in the podcast. We'll have our pros and cons with the book and everything. So, but yes, 5-star read again. The Long Walk, Richard Bachman, Stephen King. All right, the next one I decided to read was The Running Man by Richard Bachman, Stephen King. Same as The Long Walk. The difference, so this book was one of the ones that was towards the bottom of the Bachman like pack for me. Behind or in front of The Regulators and Blaze. Regulators being my least favorite for right now. And it fell behind Rage for the first ranking I think I did with this. I need to like relook at that and like redo them. But this book is pretty solid. I was between this and Roadwork. Roadwork to me is one of the most underrated Bachman books in my opinion. I believe I have it as my third favorite Bachman book behind The Long Walk and Thinner. The Running Man, this is about a guy named Ben Richards whose daughter is sick. And, like, he enters this, like, the TV network is, like, what runs everything in the future. I want to say this is actually, like, 2025 or something like that. So, like, this is soon. Pretty much what ends up happening is he joins what's called the Running Man. He's got to go through this entire process to make sure he's capable of doing it and being, like, okay with being on, like, one of the network channels, and the one they pick him for is The Running Man. Basically, you're America's most wanted person, and if you get caught, you get killed. If you survive 30 days, you get like $1 billion or something like that, some astronomical amount. And the record holder, I think, was like 8 days or something like that in the past, and I think he might get to 11 or 12. I don't remember. But pretty much he's doing it to get money for his daughter. Killian is one of the most annoying, like, characters in this book. He's the main bad guy. Obviously, if he's the main bad guy, he's kind of a prick. I didn't really like him as a character, and I thought the ending with him was great. Airplane scene towards the end. Just some weird, gruesome stuff at the very end of it that I thought was odd, but yeah, no. Running Man, very solid Bachman book. I would highly recommend this, and once I reread the rest of them, I'll do another ranking on it probably. So there you have The Running Man. Okay, the last reread that I did was The Sleep Experiment by Jeremy Bates. This book was a 4-star the first time I read it. This time around, I think I'm going to settle on 4.5. My reason being is I think it's a really, really good book, and the quarrels I have with it is there's a character in this book. So basically this is about a guy who named Roy Wallace, and he's a doctor at a university, and what he wants to do is recreate the sleep experiment that happened in the 50s. Basically you have people who are sleep deprived, and you basically just see how long they last without sleep. And basically what happened in 1954 is nobody survived. They all went into madness, and a lot of bad stuff happened. So, 2018, he wants to recreate it. And basically it's like going into the summer, I think it is, and like so school's out, or it's spring break or something, or no, it is the summer, and school's out, and so he stays on campus. He's got 2 colleagues, like students that help him. And one of the quarrels I have with the book is there's, I can't remember the guy's name that's with him, but it's just obscure that, yeah, Guru, and then there's a girl named Penny. And Penny is, like, attracted to the doctor. He's got, like, or to the professor, whatever. She's attracted to him, like, wants to sleep with him and stuff like that. She keeps throwing herself on him and stuff. And something happens to her in the book, and then you never hear about her again for the entire rest of the book. She gets brought up like once or twice throughout a couple of pages, and then at the very end, it's like, yeah, the massacre happened. There are 5 bodies, and it's like, but they never... I don't want to give too much away, but like, I feel like she was a forgotten character, and I didn't like that. Other than that, the narrator was fine. There weren't a whole lot of like issues with him. Most of these books, the narrators were pretty good. Nothing else really. I need to read another Jeremy Bates. I keep saying that, and I just don't. If you've read any more Jeremy Bates than just The Sleep Experiment, if you have, let me know in the comments. Let me know which one your favorite is, without any spoilers. But yeah, I'm going to sell 4.5 stars just because of the whole penny thing. It just irks me, and I don't know. If you feel different, let me know. But there you have The Sleep Experiment by Jeremy Bates. Alright, so these are the 4 books that I reread for February, or this is my February wrap-up. I liked all of them. All of them were 4.5 stars or better, which is good. You love to see it. Again, they're all rereads, like I said, so I knew that I was going to like them. Again, we'll post these down below. Also down below is Danielle's channel. Subscribe. And the podcast information, Bookstagram, all that fun stuff. What are some books you read in February? Let me know in the comments down below. If you've read any of these, let me know your thoughts down below. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Later.